Welcome to If They Won't Listen, episode 36. How is everyone doing tonight? Leon, Corey?
I am doing really well. Sorry, Corey, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I just had to clear my throat there.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, man. I took a beating today in my workout, and I went really ham with like the resistance bands and the kettlebell, and I was just doing mountain climbers at the end of it, and then I ended it with burpees, with 8 burpees, and I went, I'm good. I'm done after this point.
Dude, I'm impeccably sore. Like it feels good, and like I can tell it's gonna be a benefit, but oh my god, my body's like, fuck you, Richard. You know what I mean? That's all it wants to. It's incredible. I moved everything I own down a staircase, up a staircase, and then got shopped for all the new stuff that I didn't have because I only had items that I owned that had sentiment. I had no toothbrushes or soap or like any kitchen was completely empty. No cutlery, no plates, no cups, like, you know what I mean? No peelers. I had to make a very itemized list and do a lot of shopping. And I guarantee in the last 3 days, I've walked 50 miles. Like I have done so goddamn much back and forth. It's crazy, but
that is nuts.
Yeah, no, it's for real insane. But what's going on with you, Corey? How are things in your world?
Well, I've had a lot of things happen. We came to a head here a few weeks back, and my wife and I's relationship, and decided to go the divorce route. I requested it from her, and we've been together 22 years.
Sheesh.
And the last 6 have been pretty rough, really rough. You guys initially got a hold of me on like fetishes and stuff of that nature, and
Spencer, hands up. These hands ain't red. I almost never know the subject. I gotta get a schedule made or something. And he's doing guests right now, and he's AFK due to being, sick and family issues or whatever's going on. And I'm more than okay with it. Me and Leon carry the bag, and I love to have him when he is free.
And Spence has been giving us guests, so we have to give a shout out to Spencer right now for just even though he's been not on the podcast, he's been integral to this podcast. Off screen, man.
No, he's been getting all the guests, and I could do it. It's not something I'm incapable of, but it's been a very cool nicety to have someone else do it. He's like, bro, I got you. We're out like 5 weeks, and I'm like, okay, and it feels weird not having control. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm in a cave and I got no light, and I'm like, where am I going? But it's chill. No, it's kind of cool. It's like the first part of teamwork. Like when you got to learn whether or not it's trust or treachery. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just trust a stranger with your life. That's treachery. But your best friend at a certain point, you trust them so much. You're like, yeah, bro, I trust you. like loaded or unloaded gun to the head trust. You know what I mean? Like, do you believe me? Yeah. Like that type of, not like the first best friend is when you know where he hides his porn. And then the next best friend, the last best friend as well. There's only 2 stages, uno and dos. That you really know somebody. But
yeah. I know him like the back of my hand.
Like the back, dude. Is that a new freckle? What the fuck? But yeah, no, freaking that's crazy, Corey. It just happened with me and my I don't even know what to say because I say her name.
Baby mama.
No context. That's such a normal. Yeah, I get baby mama. I just split my.
I mean,
baby
why?
Mama too,
It's a classic. You kind of know where you stand in the relationship. It's not too serious, but you're together for the sake of the child, so that she has an upbringing with both parents. So baby mama's fine, dude.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm at. And honestly, in the weirdest fucking way, because she's never gonna listen to this. She doesn't want to listen to me talk when we were together or apart. So I assure you, she won't hear this. But no, she fucking it's just, I don't know. We're 2 chemicals that make a 2-part bomb. We're an epoxy that together did not hold. We fucking burnt each other. You know what I mean? And it's toxic to our daughter. It was toxic to people around us. There'd been legal charges drawn. I was on probation for fucking 15 months. Like, dude, shit got rough. And, we still, the question of when to quit is almost never in a certain mindset. And then you have to reverse the paradigm that you made the mindset in,
Well, it's just interesting you said that. One of the things being the character I am, the character I have, and my integrity, I didn't want my wife to feel like there was any malicious intent. I mean, the bottom line, you talk about your baby mama. I call her a loaded X. She's loaded with your child. All right. An X is an X. An X is somebody you walked away from. When there's baggage or a load or anything like that, then it takes on a whole new meaning, and you do a lot of things for outside of the relationship.
Right.
My situation was different because our children are all grown up and gone. They're out of the house. They still live in the same town. So when you remove that from the equation, it changes the dynamic of what you're dealing with, and for us, it was like we became roommates, and then there was a lot of resentment, a lot of anger. And the next thing you know, it's like, why are we still married? Neither one of us are happy. We're not going where we want to go in life. And you get inside someone's head so deep that they can't make a rational decision because they're so focused on the disaster that they're dealing with. I mean, anytime you go through something, that's your focus. I mean, it can be raining outside, your house could be on fire, and you're still worried about, this giant emotional bomb inside your head. And we got to that point, and and I asked her if there's anything else I could do. She wasn't clear as to what I was asking, and I meant to get this relationship to work. And she said no, and I was like, okay. And then there were some people that I spoke to that expressed their concern because of how unhappy she was. And they could tell I was unhappy. They're like, hey man, what's going on? You two were like two fighting dogs in a cage, And it's like, all right, there'd been certain hints on not wanting to be in the relationship from both of our sides. So I was like, all right, I'm hitting the bell, this fight's over. We still care about each other. We still love each other. We don't want to see each other hurt or harmed. It's not malicious or vindictive. And it needs to be done before it turns into that. Why wait until the police are showing up? Why wait until, someone attempts suicide or something crazy shit like that? I mean, I'm sitting in my basement and I'm thinking, I got a choice to make. It's like either I can be here in the situation I'm in and not be able to handle it, or I can choose to breathe and slap the reset button and realize that there isn't anything out there that can't be replaced. I mean, I can buy another house, I can buy another truck, I can buy another boat. They still make them. Now, there are some things that they don't make. Some of my antique guns, there's certain things like that, but they're not worth dying for, So it's like at some point, a monetary value can be placed on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you just like, hey, how much would it cost for a human life? And you dig into that and you go, you know what? You can't put a value on your own life or anyone else's at that matter. So that was the point I got to, and unbeknownst to me, my wife had been cringing on the same thought process. I'm like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? Is it, we spoke last time about, the sex at dawn and the whole monogamy thing and marriage. And, we talked about that briefly. And
yeah,
I've already dove into that. I've already studied into that. I know where it comes from, the whole basis behind it. It's not religious. It's survival. And we live in a day and an age where it's not required to be married to survive. So I decided I'm going to survive and I'm going to live. At the same time, I want to make sure that she has everything she needs. I mean, even today, in the last 2 weeks, there's been like 4 things I've done. One of them was she bought a car from their son. It was disgusting. So I paid to get it detailed.
Mm-hmm.
I helped her out getting her car fixed. And then I went out and bought a washer and dryer because there's one washer and dryer and 2 people. How's that going to work? So I bought that. And then today I drove her car into another state to get it fixed because I'm leaving for work. So I still care about her. I still want to see her safe. And I still want to do what I signed up to do when I got married. I took vows. I settled on an agreement saying, hey, look, I am going to be this person and I'm going to do this as long as I'm in this marriage until death do us part, which is divorce. And so I always leave that out. But, I figure I still have an obligation to her to make sure that she's taken care of. And until we're divorced, that obligation is still there. You know,
right.
Just because we're whatever the law says doesn't change the fact that you know, I want to remain to be the person that if I said I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I understand that too. And like, that's the same deal with like, you know, when I left, it was like this, I'm sure. And I'm not saying this from a point of, oh, look at me, I'm a fucking model citizen, take it from me. Like, I just mean this like wholeheartedly that like some people just leave, you know what I mean? They're like, all right, we're done. Whoop, hand wipe, gone. And
Deuce.
yeah, and like, and they'll wait till the court catches up with them. And it's like, you know, that's some scary shit, especially if you're a full-time mom with no job and no work history. And like, you know what I mean? She didn't even have a license, you know what I mean? And so it was like, or a car, let alone. So it was like, you know, when I left, it was, okay, I can't be with you. I'm going to go to jail, but you know, you have a child to raise and I don't want to increase your stress. And there was no image of me leaving with a stress, like where this was the outcome, where like we weren't fighting. And like, you know, I just bought her a car that like it's a fucking $17,000 car. Because I want her to have one, and you know what I mean, for my daughter. And it's all about my daughter, of course, but still, nonetheless, she's the one getting it, not my daughter. You know, my daughter will be in it, but you know, it was just, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I was gonna buy like a $7,000 or $8,000 or $10,000, you know, I had in cash, and then we were like, you know, she's like, what if we get new? And I was like, we can try it. You know, if they say yeah, well, cool. And you know, so now I'm on the title and I'm doing a lease, or not a lease, but like I'm more, I don't want to call it a mortgage. You know, I'm financing whatever, you know, a car, and it's not mine. I drive a $2,600 2007 Subaru Impreza with fucking 250,000 miles on it, a 3-inch straight pipe, and a fucking short ram intake. Like she's loud as shit. She purrs. She's got no check engine light, and I love her, but she's $2,600. I have a hairless cat that's worth more than that. I bought my first hairless cat for $3,000, bro. You know, and she's worth more than the world to me. Price isn't important, but still, she was more than my car. And now I'm on the hook for paying for a car that I frankly will never drive, because every time I'm like, let's go somewhere, she's like, here, you can drive. I'm like, no, your car. Like, whoa, you know, I'm not a passenger guy, but I bought you the car. You wreck it, that's you. But I'm not driving it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying for 2 people on the insurance. Nope, I got my own insurance, you know? And so it's just nuts. I pay 2 rents, 2 power bills, 2 cable bills, / Wi-Fi, 2 rents, a car payment, and an insurance payment that are not mine, and then my own insurance payment, then 2 phones, then now she has her own way to get food, and eventually she'll get her own. They might even pay her whole rent, like because of the state of her being a single mom, they might just pay her whole rent. And if that's the case, holy shit, like, yeah, I got to pay her $500 in child support or $700 in child support a fucking month. And then they're going to pay everything else. And it's like, I'll give her more. But like right now I'm paying over like almost $2,000 a month for just her. And if the state will pay 3/4 of that, and then I just have to chip in the pennies and then give her spending money that's off the table, like that's not child support. It's like, that sounds so much better. And, you know, we can't.
It's a way better deal.
We can't get that if we're together, like at all. We could lie about it and get in trouble, but like we're literally not together. And so she gets the help because she makes $0 and has her own place. And I, you know, and like that's what you qualify for. And me, I make now. I just went from making $30K a year to the car I just financed. On the paperwork I signed that I was going to be making $55,000 a year. And they looked at my pay stub for the last 67 days and went, "Yep, if he stays here, he'll make $55K this year." And so my literally last 6 months, my world just went from fucking, like, you know what I mean, so tight on money that paycheck to paycheck's a joke. That phrase is more than I have, to now I can pay 2 of everything and save money and spend money. Like, it's retarded. I'm working 3 times as hard, but I'm also getting paid for my worth, literally. So, you know, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I walk away with a fucking pretty amount of money, you know. But even still, it's like, holy shit, you know, I'm doing the same thing I was doing 3 months ago, but 2 of everything. My happiness is up. Her happiness is up. My daughter's fucking way better. We're not fighting in front of her, you know, but you know, it's just fucking weird. Like, there's this weird, eerie feeling that's just sitting, you know, and it's like, I don't know what it is yet. I haven't identified it. I got my magnifying glass out, but it doesn't speak Espanol, and I'm working on it. You know, I'm fucking, I don't know what's going on, you know, but it's weird, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I can't even imagine what you
mayhem.
went through on that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you create your own mayhem. you create your own, disasters. And it's back to the focus. I mean, one of the things is I did have an emotional affair on my wife 6 years ago, which is kind of the start of all this. Being a guy, like I've talked about before, I didn't realize the significance of that. That was my own ignorance, my own selfishness. And I've come to terms to that. But that seed is what turned into where we are today, is I started that, And even in the last couple of weeks, since we've talked about divorce and since we've talked about assets and you're starting to talk about money, you start looking at how much everything's worth. If you do a 50-50 split, it's ridiculous. Because when you buy something, you don't go, okay, how much is that going to be worth in 5-6 years? You buy stuff and you're like, hey, this is what we want. We want to get this, we want to get that. But you never do take a look at it and go, hey, okay, is that, if we had to sell that today, how much is it worth and how much money would you get? How much money would I get? And you start getting lawyers. I mean, we did get a lawyer that was supposed to work joint with us, but it's one of those things where that lawyer's for her, so it has her best interests.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? I feel that.
But I can already feel. I mean, my wife slept awesome today. I mean, she busts her ass at her shop all day. She works, at a job all night, and she hasn't been able to sleep that well.
Mm-hmm.
And she's starting to get where she can sleep, she can get rest. I mean, we're communicating more about things. I mean, things are going better, but we cannot just disregard everything that's happened up to this point and say, okay, well, now it's all over. It's all said. It's gotten so bad that, if we want to be friends when this is all over, then we can. If we decide that's what we want. But really, it's like when you split, it changes everything, and it just changes it in your mind, because the reality is, the environment may have changed, and you can't ponder over the fact of, well, if I just felt the way I did, we just talk the way we do now, it's kind of hard not to fall into we can get back together because everything's great now. The reason everything's great is because the dynamic has been set and it works. I mean, regardless of whatever issues anyone's had in a relationship, if you just look at it simply and go, do you know what? The relationship didn't work. We can sit there and pick apart each other all goddamn day and insult and piss off. But the reality is it didn't work. And it's not working under these conditions in this environment. So change the environment and see if the relationship works. I mean, especially where you've got something of value involved, like a child. You don't need to just walk away and say, oh, hell, she's crazy. It's her. It's her. No, it's all kinds of shit. And changing the environment is probably something I can commend you on, because not a lot of people do that. A lot of people are like, oh, screw it. I'll just pay somebody and she can go away and I don't have to listen to her complain all the time. And they don't learn how to get along. They don't learn how to just put the shit to bed that has been an issue and then move forward.
Yeah, no, and I can attest to that. I've known a lot of people who are divorced. I haven't met many people who are like, we almost got divorced and we made it work. I've never met those people.
I actually have a friend couple that actually was.
Really?
Yeah, they were on the verge. They were on the verge of separation, but they did some things again. They worked it out, and they're still together today. And I met them. I think I met them when they were talking about. I had no idea. I would say this is like about 3 years ago when I first met them. Oh my goodness, no, probably even further back, maybe 4 years ago. And I learned about a year ago that they were on the verge of separation, and they were able to work it out, and they're still together, and they've been together since that time. So that was about 2017 maybe.
Wow.
And so I've known them for a while, and they got to know me and my wife separately, and before me and my wife actually got together and became official and engaged and married. So I have met someone, at least one person. But you're right, it's like almost a needle in a haystack. It's a one in a lottery where everyone else who's on the verge of divorce usually just, well, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah. No, and hey, someone said that to me once. I was on Xbox and I was frustrated about one of my girlfriends, fucking, 4 girlfriends ago. You know what I mean? Woe is me. And Jesus Christ, like we were on Xbox and he just said these words, and forever they will sit with me until the day I die. Like when I'm flashing through memories, this is the sentence that's said that is attached to the memories of all of my problem relationships. And it was like, bro, poison is poison. If your relationship's poison, there's no fixing it. Move on. And I was like, fuck, that's just hard as hell. You know what I mean? And like, we were just hanging out, killing kids on Call of Duty. But like in the context of murdering people, for him to say that wasn't that crazy weird. But still, like, he was like, bro, poison is poison. And I was like, what do you mean poison? You know, like I didn't even have a chance to think about it. I immediately knew what he meant. And I was like, fuck, he's right. And I'm not with that person now, nor the person after them, or the person after them, or the person after them, or the person who I just had. So, and what are the odds that I say this again? I don't know. If I was a betting man.
Sometimes I feel I feel very fortunate that I met my wife, and I met her when she was in, goodness, 3 different relationships before she finally, wanted to make us more serious. I went through 3 different boyfriends, and I was always the guy in the background. I was always the friend, I was in the friend zone. And eventually she just had this realization that the one consistency in her life was always me, and she wanted to make it work with us. And then that's a little bit of our history together. And I've been in relationships too, way before we got together, and poison is poison. You can't fix poison. Once it's in your system and it's already deep in there, it's no getting out. It's just, the situation is just going to get worse until you amputate the part, the source that it's from. And I've been in pretty toxic relationships. Thankfully, they never lasted longer than 3 months. Thankfully, once I realized this relationship is absolutely toxic. It adds no survival to my value. It adds nothing. I like her. All right. The sex is good. We do have fun sometimes, but we're always fighting. She's always doing some skeevy shit. Freaking, and then of course I'm bad to her, right? I yell at her. I kind of become an asshole. I get almost not violent, but I get loud and I get angry, and I kind of I have punched the wall out of anger just because I don't want to hurt another human being.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realize, okay, I'm at this point that I'm thrashing, then I have to back away from my head and just say, this is just not working. What are we going to keep doing 3 months from now? This same old bullshit, the same song and dance pony show. Come on, time to end it and pull the Band-Aid.
Yeah, no, and that's so much easier said than done, though. And I think any person who's ever been, honestly, even people who are in a strong lust, that's the weakest love. You know what I mean? So like, even a strong luster understands what that's like, because like he loves fucking her so much, and she wants to go, and he's like, well, okay, but wait, okay. So I'm positive it's a pretty synonymous thing. Like my favorite musician right now, who I've been blaring over and over, his 2 main paradigms are a drug addiction and heartbreak, and both of them are pretty fucking prevalent. You know what I mean?
What is this, Eminem?
Juice WRLD.
Oh, Juice WRLD. Okay.
Yeah, no, like I loved him before he passed away, but since he passed away, the thought of like, I'm a musician, like the dream as a musician is like someday you get to all your favorite people you get to meet and be with. And it's like, before I even fucking started recording and learning how to produce, 15 years of writing in a notebook. And, there's a lot of people who have died who I would have loved to meet, there'll be people who are created, famous, and dead before I'm out still. And it's like, shit,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just crazy, man. And it's
weird.
It
just depends on the person, man. It really, it depends on the person who could pull themselves out of that situation, pull them up into like a point where they realize where they have it good in life and where they have it bad in life. You know what I mean?
I'm with you there. So Corey, what else? Any other major developments in your life? What besides that? Like, is anything holding equivalent to that, or is that the tower that shadows over?
Well, that's the biggest event. I did start a new job and I'm going to be heading out. First job's going to be 14 to 21 days. This job's about 95% travel. So I'm going to be either on 14 or 20 or 30 day hitches.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I want to stay out, I can stay out. So probably for about the next year, I'm going to be out all over the U.S. working.
Okay.
And it's 10-hour days straight through. So that'll be get my certifications and all that, and I can get back to the same wage I was making before I got laid off this last time. So that's another big challenge. I mean, this new job is a lot of book work, a lot of studying. It's you got to get certified in everything you do.
Yep.
And it's an inspection job, so
there's
quite a bit of detail in that.
I had a feeling it was going to be something in inspections, because I've known inspectors, and they've told me that it's an intense amount of studying that you have to do, and there's at least a few certifications you have to get, and then it depends on what kind of inspections that you're doing, right? Mold inspection, termite inspections, what's the other ones? I can't think, like fire hazards. I think that's one of those safety codes. There's a lot of those certifications out there. So it's an intense amount of studying, but it's I would assume the pay is just absolutely, tantamount to what you study.
Yeah, and that's it. The last job I had, I've been making six figures for quite a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And this job will get right back up there pretty quick. But it's basically doing like pressure vessels, piping, tanks, those kind of inspections. So integrity, it's non-destructive testing, ultrasound, X-ray,
okay,
that kind of stuff.
Damn.
Interesting.
So it's industrial mainly. And I've been working on the job to get the job for a couple of years now, just trying to get in. And always, I'm the kind of guy that likes to finish out where I started. So I was holding out to the end on my last job until they actually closed the facility and said go home.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's also a big part. The divorce is probably it's overshadowing, like you said, quite a bit, and it's going to take a lot more time, being away, but getting that ball rolling, making sure that my wife has what she wants and what she needs. I mean, I want to make sure that if we aren't friends, that at least she's set up to where she's not going to have to struggle and not have to worry about things. Because we set our finances and our relationship around that security, and she needs to have that security too, because that's what we built it for.
Yeah, you guys built that together. How long were you guys together? 22 years married?
We got married in 2003, so not quite 22 married, but we've only been with each other for the last 22 years.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Married less than
else
that.
Except for me. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's a tough, because that's a situation that you've been in for 22 years, and then you get to that point where it's a sudden change, such as the separation, and I can only imagine that is just the hugest change that anyone can go through. It's almost like it's almost like losing a relative that you've known for your whole life, right? And now you have to, how do I function without that person at my side? Whatever function they had and purpose they served has now been gone, and now I have to fill the voids that are all left behind.
Well, that's it. And like my wife I was talking to her over breakfast, and her car. She bought a car that, I don't like to work on them. I think the second gen Eclipse is not worth working on.
Amen, brother. 1995.
So the first gens. I mean, we'll get into that as soon as I get done here. Telling you the story, but
I miss Paul Walker.
But what it is it's got a clutch issue, and I've got a buddy that is just an Eclipse and a DSM genius. He's built all kinds of cool shit. So I get him on the phone, and I talk to him, and he's like, yeah, man, I can take a look at it. So I drove this car 80 miles with no clutch.
2,900 RPMs. Bink.
No. If you pump it, it would go into gear. Once it got warmed up, it'd start pulling air through the system.
Okay.
So the master cylinder, slave cylinder, and that little short line, there's air in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
I miss the dirt bike days when you blow your fucking clutch handle off your bike and you're like, well, fuck it, we're power shifting home. Fucking wow, click, wow.
That's exactly what I did. I floated the gears all the way down there.
Yeah.
And I get down there and he's like, well, why do you still care? Why do you? And I said, dude, look, I'm still married.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hate this person.
Yeah. You built
I'm still married.
You build a place in your mind, you know. For everything I do in my life, I have a place in my mind. I have the most insane mind. I pass health evals saying things that are, you know, fragmented me beliefs. You know what I mean? No one thing I say is believed by all of me. You know, I'm a very diverse thinker, you know, but holy shit. Like, I feel like I have psychosis sometimes with all the places I build, you know, like skateboarding me fucking hates anime me. Because their goals are completely different. Skateboarding me wants to be on the skateboard at all times, skateboarding, and anime me wants to have a blanket and be looking at anime. And so it's like, but they are each super hobbies that I love so much, and I would argue to anyone that they're not both dope.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm with you. I skateboard. I don't skateboard anymore, but I know what you mean. I used to skateboard back in the day and watch lots of anime, and I mean, I've been getting back into anime for the last maybe the last year at this point, and now we're watching Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, dude, that's a fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, it's dope. I read the manga when I was like 15.
Yeah, but no, and I've only rode my skateboard once in like fucking 2 years, maybe 3 years. I rode it down the street a week ago because I pulled it out of my trunk and I was like, I looked at it, I got to. I only don't ride it because I was an amazing learner, but amongst learning, I broke an ankle like once a year. And like, I cannot afford to have a broken ankle right now. And so
no, you cannot.
The only reason I don't fucking go try to do an Annie Casper 360 while riding down the street on a bumpy sidewalk is because I like my ankles, you know. And that's, by the way, to say this in layman's terms, I ride on the board, I adjust my feet to the front of the board, shifting my weight backwards, flip the board upside down, stepping on one tail, one side, rotate it, flip it upside down in the air, spinning, and then land on it. And you fail like 9 out of 77 times. You fail 99 out of 100 times. Like, it's incredibly bad.
I can't. So, yeah, I never attempted to try to do a cast, but I have done the thing where I'll flip the board onto the grip tape side and then just hold it there and just balance it and then flip it back and then just go and then just keep riding. You know, I've done that before.
Yeah,
like way back. But I could not do a kick. I can't even do a kick flip. So when I get on my board, I think the last time I got on my board was probably 2 years ago. The only things I did were ollies and shove-its and pop shove-its. That's all I could do. I'm fine with that. I don't need to go more complicated than that.
For real. No, it's
so fun, why don't you go out and skateboard more? Why don't you go skateboard more? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just confident that I'll, because I can't skateboard without being like, I got to do something I've never done and I will get hurt. And I have to support 3 mouths right now. Otherwise, 2 apartments, a car bill, and a bunch of other shit will
everything.
Two of everything will be fucked. Like, it's not. And the crazy thing is, I have less stress because, like, my job, I'm making fucking insane money and I'm getting paid what I'm worth. And I appreciated going to work when I was underpaid and undervalued.
Yeah.
And that's actually what landed me my last job, which was my favorite job ever. I got out of flagging because of some fucking drama bullshit. And I started working dishwashing at a restaurant and is having a second job as a roofer. And it was a very dangerous roofing company that extrapolated their safety for their money. Like, they were like, yeah, we'll just speed up on the safety. And, you know, you don't need a rope, right? Just don't trip. And I'm fucking 70 feet off the ground. Like, I did it for a few weeks, made a bunch of money, but it started getting to the point where it was like, bro, literally, if I come to work one day hungover, I'm going to slip off a roof and die. And I can't afford that to happen. And so I was literally second day dishwashing. And I was such a happy-go-lucky. If I was done with all the dishes, I turned around and started cleaning areas that have never been cleaned because I just wanted to fucking not think about my terrible life. And you know what I mean? I had such a strong work ethic. When I told them I had to quit, because I needed to go roof fucking 4 times as much to make enough to support 3 people. They were like, no, we know a place you could go work. We'll send a reference. They don't actually hire through application, only word of mouth. And they're looking for someone, so I'll ask. 36 hours later, I had my last job that I worked for like 19 months. I was a maintenance guy for 170 hotel rooms in the mountains. I was also training to be a fucking line cook. I was the garde guy for a long time. I was the dishwasher at 3 different places. Like, I did so many jobs and I was just willing to work. And the problem was I was paid shit, no benefits, no paid time off, didn't get paid time and a half for holidays. Loved the job, loved it, but I could like supporting 3 people was 85 hours a week, and it got to the point where I couldn't work that. They were capping me at 33 hours and saying there was no more work, and it was like, I'm willing to clean spit off of the inside of the rim of a toilet seat, and I can't work more. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking. And then COVID hit, and it was like, nope, a fucking year into COVID, I had to quit. And to think that after being out of work for 8 weeks, that I would find a job that made that job look like a bitch financially.
Essentially made it look like a bitch.
Bro, I work 30% less, and I make 250% more.
That's a dream, man. That's amazing.
Retarded. You know
that's
I mean?
really good.
I went from 30K a year, 110 hours on the busiest week, to 60 hours a week, 55K a year. Like, fucking, you know, and like, it's not that much harder of like a hand or a foot job. It's about the same. I worked equivalently physically hard at both, and I had the same work ethic at both, but one valued its employees and one owned 2 BMWs. You know.
It's an interesting viewpoint.
It's just a fact, you know. Like,
yeah, it's a fact of life right there.
The company I work for now is a corporation. You know, they have offices in San Diego and fucking Chicago and, you know, New York and all sorts of places. And so they're a corporation, and they have a high value and a rich name. And they've been open for fucking 100+ years now or something. Since 1903 they've been open. And so they got a strong name, and they support their employees. If you work hard as fuck like a machine, you get paid hard as fuck like a machine would. You know what I mean? Like, if you act like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, with determination, then you get rewarded in his equivalent, you know, not his equivalent, but like a 500th of his pay.
Yeah. As you're saying that the work is tantamount to what you get paid.
Oh, literally.
And that's I honestly, I think that's a great system. You should, you know, as opposed to the person who coasts by and expects a raise every year and is just not really converting numbers into products. They're just, I get products sometimes. I do this. I come to work. I show up on time and I leave on time as well. I clock in at 9. I clock out at 5, and then expects they don't do anything else, and then expect, yeah, I want a raise by the end of this year. The hell, man? What have you got to show for it? You're just sitting there, sitting in the seat, breathing the air.
Yeah.
That's not tantamount to a 2% raise.
No, and it's crazy. You know, I appreciate it. I like working, and it's a really cool gig, and I'm super happy with it. But no, I'm happy for you, Corey. And I think it's crazy that we both split. Granted, mine was a 4-year relationship, and I knocked her up in the first 7 days. So the odds of it working out were much less than yours with a fucking 18-year relationship before you're like, I got Rocky fucking 16 years in. Like, well, good job, Corey. You were a gentleman for 16 years. I didn't last fucking 160 hours.
Well, it's great because out of everything that's happened, you know, our 2 kids that we raised as adolescents, you know, I mean, one of them did get an Army career. You know, he's flipped himself around. He's got himself a real good job. The other kid has been working for a contractor, and he's starting to open up and get more. You know, they both have children. They take care of their kids. You know, they're good role models to their sons. You know, we have a daughter that has 5 boys, and she struggles, but she always can use us as a resource if she needs to. You know, mainly it's just not as financial as it used to be, but I feel great that I was able to, you know, be a part of that and influence them and give them assistance when they needed it, you know, and give them, you know, whether it be money or conversation or just mentorship, you know. I mean, I'm not their biological fathers, and to any of them, I have no biological children of my own. And the oldest daughter that lives a few states away, she's been pretty distant, but we've also been able to help influence her by just showing, you know, hey, look, it's not easy. And, you know, right now we're showing her that it's okay to say, hey, it's not working, you know. You don't need to come up with some big dramatic excuse as to why you're splitting up with somebody. It's not working. No, for one, nobody gives a shit about the details. Nobody cares. Nobody cares who yelled at who. Nobody cares who did this, because whomever is on the side of the conversation is going to defend the one in which they're talking.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, nobody's going to sit there and say, you know what? I think you're wrong. I think you're an asshole. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to support you. especially when it comes to the parents and stuff of that nature. So keeping all that simple, keeping all that plain. And like I said, the main thing is I want to make sure that she gets what she needs, you know, and I'm able to walk away and I have what I need to survive. And, you know, nobody gets shortchanged. Nobody gets screwed in a sense. You know, we're both happy. And I've told my wife over and over again that I don't care what her friends want, what her mom wants. I don't care what the lawyer wants. It's what she wants. You know, if she wants X, Y, and Z, then okay, let's make it happen. You know, as long as she's okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, it's definitely, there was so many fucking parts to life. You know what I mean? Everyone you meet's fucking different. And I don't know, relationships, I think, are a magical thing because everyone's different. You know, they're a crazy fucking thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy the way things are. You know, I mainly just want to be a good father, you know, and financially, like, I'm paying way more than what child support would recommend to me right now. And like I said, that's not a gloating point. It's just more of a manner. Like, I feel responsible, you know what I mean? And I don't know. It's really weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing, you know, but.
Well, if you can
what
do
life
it,
is throwing to you, man. It's what life is throwing at you right now.
you know, if you can do it, then do it.
Yeah.
Because there's going to come a time where you can't. And when you approach the plate and say, look, I can't do this, this, and this. And someone says, well, you know, you've always done that. And you can say, well, yeah, absolutely, because I could for these reasons. Because I had, you know, these circumstances, and these circumstances have changed. So it's not because I don't want to or I'm being vindictive. It's just the simple fact that right now you can do what you're doing. But in the future, you might need to scale it back a little bit. Because eventually you've got to be able to go do things that, you know, you want to do. And also take care of the responsibilities. I mean, I've got a fishing boat and stuff like that I haven't used. And it's not my wife's fault that I haven't used it, but I felt guilty going out and doing that stuff and spending that money instead of wanting to fix our relationship or wanting to make our relationship better. So I put a lot of things off and didn't do it. A lot of trips. I pushed a lot of friends away. I've, you know, done a lot of things that I'm like, I had a good reason at that time. And, you know, I realize now that that's not self-fulfilling to focus on one person and one person only, that I do have to do things for myself also.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many fucking lessons to learn in life. You know what I mean? I'm just happy that I've made it out to some degree. No, not to some degree. I'm fucking done. I'm fully moved in now. Like I made it out unscathed. You know what I mean?
50 miles. All right, man. 50 miles is what you did carrying boxes.
I moved. I literally did as far as mileage, but I moved from address wise 280 to 245, and it's across the street. So it's not like it's 70 houses on the same side of the street. It's in fact the second house down diagonally. Like from my fucking living room, from my current window, if I leaned 6 feet this way, I could see my old place. You know, it's fucking. It's so crazy. You know what I mean? And I also kind of accomplished a dream too. I always kind of wanted to live above like a place to get food. And I literally live above a pizza place.
Nice. Oh, it's a pizza place. Hell yeah.
So that's a big problem. I'm gonna have to do a lot more crunches to keep this gut in.
Crunches, jumping jacks, squats all day, baby.
Dude, I don't do jumping jacks, bro.
You don't do jumping jacks?
You know how heavy gravity is, bro?
9.8 hold on, I got this. 9.81 meter per second squared.
Well, maybe you got me, but like I ask people every once in a while, when's the last time you jumped? And they're like, I don't know, a long time. And I'm like, that's my point. Like
all I do is jump, homie. That's I don't. One of my workouts is a jump squat. And then
Jesus Christ, you squat down and then jump.
Oh hell yeah! You want me to demo it?
I understand the concept, my homes. No,
I'll do it right now, bro.
I'll do it. You want me to show you?
You want me to show you, bro?
I will show you. No, but dude, it's so funny. Like every once in a while, I'll be walking through a parking lot and I'll look left and I'll look right. And then I'll just jump. And I'll be like, yeah, I needed to jump. I feel better now. Things are cool. And I'm like, I don't know why I fucking do that. And like multiple times I've been sitting, having a conversation with somebody, running my gums like I do permanently. Like my daughter does too. You wonder whose father she is, and it's like you hang out with her, and either I'm talking or she's talking, or we're talking over each other. It's a lovely dynamic for people who want to listen to people talk forever. It's a small demographic though.
Once you start her Twitch streaming account.
Oh my gosh, bro. Dude, she's like, I've already thought about it. Like, dude, I could monopolize her looks right now and make, you know what I mean, how, you know, like little toy videos and like the videos that she watched on YouTube of other kids with their parents making videos. And dude, my daughter's like, she's gorgeous. And like, I'm not saying that from a speculative, like, oh, it's my opinion.
You're being very objective. You've compared her with other girls out there.
If I was gonna sell her to the Chinese, I would get such a top price.
Wait, hold up. To China, you said?
To China, that they would trade me the coronavirus vaccine from the biolab in Wuhan for, you know what I mean? No, but honestly, like she is a very, very, you know, genetically strong little girl, and at 3 years old, she speaks full sentences. She looked out the window earlier and went, "Mom, home," and pointed at her house and told her, you know what I mean, her mom she wanted to go home. And you know what I mean, she was like, "Mom, I want to go home. I'm gonna jump on my trampoline. I'm gonna play with the ball." Period. She didn't say period, but she stopped talking and then said,
"Do
you want to play?"
It was the intention. Was
do
there?
You want to play ball with me?
I want to play ball.
Like, dude, like she's fucking 3. If this is how she talks when she's 3, when she's 5, we're both gonna need Tylenol. You know what I mean?
Tylenol or a dictionary.
I'm gonna need it to listen, and she's gonna need it to listen as well. It's gonna go both ways. It's great having kids, and it's also crazy, you know. I just wonder how, like, I'm amazing from my own speculative standpoint because of neglect and self-reliance, but she's not gonna be neglected. She's gonna be very spoiled at 16, fucking brand new fucking car, whatever she wants, stupid amount of horsepower, you want to wreck it, full coverage, don't care. Like, she's gonna be so fucking privileged because I'm gonna work to guarantee that, because that's what I wished I had a Beamer when I was 16 and I could have been a dildo like all my friends, but I couldn't. I had a 1984 fucking Honda Celica with a short shift on a fucking 20-yard dual overhead cam. It was dope.
Wait, pause.
What?
You had a Honda Celica.
Toyota. I'm sorry. Did I say Honda? Tell me.
You said Honda, and I just had to think for a second. I'm like, I don't remember Celicas ever being manufactured by Hondas.
That's
so did Celicas go from Hondas to Toyota at some point? Did they just buy the engineering blueprint?
They bought the name. Fuck it. No, that's crazy. No, it's a Toyota Celica.
Bro, an 84 Celica sounds. I would rather have that than a Beamer.
He was still at my dad's house, and it's the only thing cool about it. Not the only thing, but one of the most cool things about it was that it was still a metal frame, uncrashed, solid metal frame. It was not the new composite that I could punch a hole in when I'm drunk, and then I get a crack that rusts out half my fucking side body. That happened on my Mitsubishi Eclipse. I got pissed, and my girlfriend, who was my ex in that moment, fucking texted me like 40 times, "I hate you." And I was, fuck. And I punched my bumper as hard as I could, like right under my spoiler, like on the top of my trunk. And dude, it was like a 1/2-inch dent. But that 1/2-inch dent broke the composite off, which then got water in, which then rusted the whole trunk. I lost I had to get a whole new fucking trunk. Like one punch. It was like, holy shit. Talk about a
one punch Ricky.
So did you ever soup up that Eclipse?
Just a fucking intake. I didn't know much about fast performance, and all my money went into fucking serious drugs at that age.
Oh yeah. That's a buddy of mine. He just sold his one of his first gens, and we dynoed it at 680 horses.
Holy shit, no, dude. Mine was a 2001 stock. And that's not even first gen, you know. Obviously, it is the next one, the curvy one. But fuck, she was a quick little car, front wheel drive, and I lived in curvy roads, and fucking, I don't know, I think she was stock like 144 horsepower or something, but I threw a little short ram intake on her, and she had a fucking a 2-inch muffler in the way back, or 2 3/4-inch muffler in the way back, because I tried to buy a 2.5-inch muffler tip, and it fucking tinked with extra slack over the top, and I was like, damn, this car's got a big tip already. We'll skip that. And dude, I love that car. I drove her into the dirt when I got rid of her. So I changed the motor 3 times in it. And not because I was bored. So I bought her, and 2 months after I had her, the timing belt floated, turned it on 4 times in a row, listened to the motor chew itself up. Motor was gone by the time the state trooper got there and called the tow truck. Second time, I turned around in a snowy parking lot on Thanksgiving, drove over a wellhead on snow. The snow collapsed. My car fell 6 inches on the right side, and a wellhead punched my oil filter off my car and locked itself on my control arm. So I got stuck. And in the fucking 30 minutes it took me to get my car unstuck, I kicked up so much mud, I didn't notice my synthetic oil that I just put in it. And so I got it in the parking lot, and the second the fucking car touched the pavement, and it fucking dropped like a beat and dead forever. Fucking seized motor. Cool. Third
She
motor.
had one more thing to do for you.
Dude, seriously, she made a cool
One
beat,
more.
and then she died at Walgreens. You know what I mean? Like
That's not on the on the corner of Happy and Healthy. She died.
And I loved her, man. She was such a cool car. And now I have a 2007 Impreza, and it's all-wheel drive. Dude, she almost corners as good as that front wheel. Like, all wheels are only like, if not better than, equal to a front wheel drive. They're so cool for cornering. Like, dude, I take like, it's like a sign shows up on the side of the road, you should take this corner at 30, and I'm in a 50. I'm like, bitch, I'm going to 60. What? And fucking dude, she dual open differentials, both with limited slip. Dude, she just fucking did no brakes. Just, if I need to not accelerate, I don't, but no brakes. She corners so fast.
Sounds like a beaut.
Yeah.
Lost me with a lot of the lingo, but happy for you.
It's all good.
Happy for you.
It's all good, man. Cars are a thing. My baby mama hated listening to me talk about cars, because I'd be on fucking Google and someone would show me a video and be like, $70, look what you can do. And I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? And I'm fucking
I'm ready to go. I want to do it. I want to do that to my car.
What do you drive, bro? For a person who doesn't give a fuck about anything I just said, what do you drive for a car?
No, first of all, everybody that's listening right now, I wanted to be clear that it wasn't that I don't give a fuck about what Ricky had to say.
You just don't understand.
I just don't understand it.
I get it.
I can't. I'm not on the same reality level as you. You
So
know,
you drive a Volt?
A
You drive a Volt
Hyundai.
No.
Hyundai?
Okay. So,
I was
all
gonna
right.
say the other
So,
one,
are we taking bets? All right. Y'all got to cash at me if you're wrong, though. Okay. So, all right. This is what I drive. It's my wife's car. No.
He started with
my wife's car. Yeah, because I don't have a car anymore. My wife drives a Nissan Altima.
Oh, I've seen way worse. Okay.
I used to, and then my original car, not my original car, but the car I was driving up into the point of a couple years ago was a Toyota Corolla, which I freaking love that car. I'm a Toyota guy, dude.
The skinny old fucking 2004 that's the god in snow because it weighs 1,200 pounds.
No, I had a 2019.
Fucking loser, bro. You had a 19?
I know. Yeah. Well, I had no choice. I actually had no choice, because the story goes like this. I had a Toyota Yaris first, okay? And I got into I was doing Uber. I was doing a Lyft ride, and a dude rear-ended me into another car, totaled it.
Were you parked or were you moving when he hit you?
I was at a red light.
Just chilling, fucking.
Was he riding up?
It was a high school student.
Was he riding a bicycle or what?
No, it was a high school student, and he was driving. Funny enough, a Nissan Altima.
Okay.
It was a Nissan Altima.
So it was just magnets. It was just gravity.
So he totals my car. Unfortunately, I didn't have, stupid of me, I did not have full coverage. I waived it that month for that because I needed the money. So I said, I'll waive it this month. No biggie. Bam! That's when I get into a car accident, right? And then because I was doing Lyft and Uber, and that was my only source of income, unfortunately, I had to get another car. And so then I signed up for the program to get a car through Uber. And boy, let me tell you something, not worth it. So I got stuck with this Toyota Corolla for 2.5 years. And as soon as they said, hey, it's expiring, do you want to renew? I said, nope, take it. Take it back.
Get it out of here.
I fixed it up. I fixed it up. I put new hubcaps on it. I buffed out all the scratch. If there was any scratch, it was a white car. So any like
see
scratches,
everything.
I repainted anything. I repainted it. I touched it up myself and I gave them back almost like the whole campfire saying, find it as clean, twice as clean as you found it. Here you go. It's all in good order. New oil change, everything, buddy.
Absolutely, man, dude. I've had so many cars, bro. Like, no joke. A fast rattle off. First car was an '01 Eclipse. When that died, I got a 2004 Honda Accord. I sold that when I bought my 2001 Grand Prix. It was a fucking V8, and that motherfucker was a beast. She died on the highway, hit a tow truck, scrapped like a week later. When
Out of all the things they hit.
Yeah, she hit her life's expectancy. That's what she hit. I went from that to a 1997 Lincoln Town Car Presidential Edition with broken air ride suspension, so it rode like a fucking dump truck, and it I got T-boned in that. Luckily, I drove home because it was a tank, so that was chill. And then I went from that to a fucking the one you drove, the 2001 skinny one. That's a god. The Toyota Corolla. Yeah, I had a Toyota Corolla 2001, and yeah, then I went from the Corolla to my 2004 Ford Focus wagon, which is now my baby mama's brother's rally car. And I got rid of that for my Impreza. And my Impreza's the most smooth, best driving, nicest car I've ever drove at 250,000 miles.
Whoa, that's impressive.
It's not impressive. It's just it was taken care of. It had one owner in Connecticut, no rust. He oil changed it like every 1,000 miles because he was anally retentive. You know what I mean? The car is just so well. Like, the firewall is so clean. You may not know what that is, but like, the firewall is so clean. It honestly, my 2016 the Subaru Legacy that I just bought my baby mama, to shame. I looked at the firewall. I was like, this motherfucking thing's got dirt on it. My 2007 don't. Fuck you talking about? I don't clean it either. It's just clean by nature because it's a beautiful car.
It does itself. It does itself. It knows that it knows what it needs, knows what it wants, and it knows what I want.
Yeah,
it's understanding.
She's gorgeous. Just something for Corey here, because you're gonna get lost real quick, especially knowing your mechanical experience. So I'm pulling the head out and doing the head and all the valves, having a guy resurface them all this summer. Corey, super excited, and I'm doing it not because I have to, but because I'm gonna vlog it and because I want to learn how to do it. I built a computer,
so
learned how to do it.
You know what you're getting into, don't you?
I mean,
you're gonna want to trade. You're gonna want to trade that Subaru for that Altima when you start working on that Subaru.
Oh, and that I'm fully aware. I'm buying a whole new car. I'm buying a whole new. So what my plan is here? I'm buying my race car to drive short term while I fix my daily driver. And when my daily driver,
the Subarus, oh man, they're a nightmare, dude. To change the spark, I mean, the best thing to do is drop the motor, because to change the spark plugs on them bad boys, you got to cut the wheel wells out.
No, I didn't. I bought 2 angled bits on a socket wrench. Went to the hardware store and I connected them with a fucking 2-inch piece of steel. So I made fucking angle, fucking click, turn, click, turn, click. I made it work. I changed it. Yeah. I had a problem though when I first changed them though. One of the spark plug wires, the metal clip that goes on top of the plug broke off on the plug. So when I put the new cable on, it wouldn't click down. And I looked down in there with a fucking camera, take a picture. And I'm like, I spent the next 4 hours with needle nose in there, just shaking my wrist. Like, you're gonna come off. I want my Subaru back. There was a point I was crying. It was like Eminem was playing on the radio and I'm fucking crying with a pair of needle nose pliers. Like, you gotta come off. I just got this car a month ago.
They're such a bitch to work on. I mean, they're awesome cars. They really are. They're impressive as hell. I mean, I've seen them. I mean, the only other thing that compares to that is the Talon. 97, 98 Talon.
That's the same. That's what I got a mirror off for my Eclipse. The identical body style is like the fucking Eclipse or whatever.
Yeah, the first gen Eclipse. If they're all-wheel drive. Yeah. And that's what that first gen buddy of mine had. It was all-wheel drive.
Oh shit!
And
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
it was impressive. I mean, we got on the on ramp, came out of second gear at 140 miles an hour. I mean, this car was built to the tilt, and he's built quite a few of them. He also has a Dodge Colt with all-wheel drive with a 550 horse motor in it, stock motor.
God, dude.
And then the Talon he's building now he's gonna dyno it out at about 500 horse. He's gonna dial it back a little bit because he plans on keeping this one. But I can show you pictures of it. I can send them to you, dude. He is like painting the nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
He's getting stock nuts and bolts for the firewall. I mean, everything is color matched. The coolant is even color matched. It's crazy what he's doing.
When I get a garage, that's the things I want to do. Like, that's why I want to do the head, because I'm going to vlog it and I want to be able to say I know how to do it. So next time someone's like, oh man, those Subarus and heads, I'll be like, bro, I did a head in a fucking 4 hours. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, obviously not the resurfacing, but I've got 2 YouTube videos of the 07 Impreza. One of them is a trained mechanical shop who even wore safety glasses during the fucking video. They pulled the motor out, telling you verbally before they did everything in an hour. And they took the time to tell you. This other guy pulled it out in 31 minutes without telling you. And like, I'm not fucking with you. It's so cool. You don't even have to take off the power steering lines except from the fucking, but because you can just take off the pump and lay it on the fucking strut. Boop. And then you rehook the alternator and you get the fucking lift bracket. It's $175 on Amazon for a motor lift. Hydraulic. Bink, 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 out it goes. I drop it on the ground. I pull off the head. I pull off the valves. And I got a guy who's going to recondition. He's going to do all the head seals, all the cam seals, and recondition and resize, like, you know, the gaps in all of my valves for $700 for the whole deal.
Nice.
I was like,
so you might as well do all the timing components, the water pump, all that shit while you're at it. I mean, I've done two COVID projects, 3 actually. And they've all been heads, water pumps, timing belts. You know, and then it ventures off into other stuff.
So I bought this 07, and the first thing, I had my timing belt floated in the Eclipse. So you're talking to an experienced fucking lucky asshole here. And so I brought the car straight to Subaru, and I was like, look, I got $3,000. Taxes just came in. I want you to change the timing belt, water pump, do the snazzy, let me know what's up. And Subaru, the dealership was so nice. The fucking manager walked out and he said, I just want to let you know, we pulled the cover off. We got half your car apart, your radiator out. And your timing belt still has writing on it. So even though your Carfax doesn't say it, you have a brand new timing belt. If the writing's on it, it's less than 10,000 miles on it. So we're not going to touch it. Instead, since your car's apart, we're going to make an itemized list of every single thing that you want that could be fixed. And if you want to spend the money to fix that, we'll give you a rental instead of you doing the timing. And I was like, sweet, I still have $3,000. So sure, let's fix everything else. And they did. They gave me an itemized list of $2,000. And literally the craziest thing in my life happened. I'm only going to bring this up because I reached this point in the story, but like literally it's insane. So while I was in the waiting room, after he came in and told me that the timing belt was still good, I was sitting in the waiting room and I looked up and there was an elderly lady, probably late 70s, based on how often she shook sitting still. And you know, and she was reading a book and she looked up at one point and I was like, hi. And she said, hi. And we engaged in a conversation because I can't sit still without talking. And we talked about the internet and another country and adoption and the book she read and just a fucking plethora of things for 30 minutes. And then her car was ready and she left. 10 minutes later, they come get me from my car, the dealership lady, Holly at Subaru. And fucking, she says, so, you know that lady you were talking to? Yeah. She paid $1,500 of your $2,000 car bill. And she says you're a nice young fellow and she thinks you're going places. So I don't know what that is, but and like she literally did that. Well, like it was insane.
I somehow kind of got disconnected there for me for a little bit. I don't know what the fuck happened. But I watched you talk, but I didn't hear you talk. So I didn't hear the last few minutes, but yeah, I'm glad you're doing that though, because the Subarus, you know what you're getting into. I mean,
yeah, no, I love it, but no, nonetheless, yeah, it was a really cool thing. The lady paid for part of my car's repair at the dealership.
Nice.
Insane.
Class act.
It was insane, bro. I've never seen anything like. I wasn't talking to her, expecting she was gonna pay my bill. That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
You know, I
just wanted to talk to somebody.
I was just trying to kill time. I didn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you're just trying to talk to somebody.
But No, it's cool. And yeah, no, I love working on cars, man. We're about at like the 5-minute warning, give or take a few minutes. So, we can touch on a few more subjects and then we'll cut out and Leon will go on his way. What do you do? What are you doing after this? So you got any plans?
Me?
Cool. Yeah. I know what he's doing. The reason we're stopping early is because he has to go play Dungeons and Dragons with his buddies. we stop at 9 every night because he typically every Sunday plays D&D, and the nights he doesn't, we'll roll even further if we can. And you know what I mean? The nights he does, we do.
Oh, we can go. I mean, we can go because it starts at 9:30. So I'd like to have at least 15, 20 minutes to reset.
Okay. Let's call 10-minute warning. We'll stop at 9:05.
Yeah, fair enough, dude.
I just gotta get my stuff packed here to be gone for the next 21 days working. So
yeah, I feel you.
That's all I gotta do.
Do you have a personal vehicle you drive in, or is it a work truck that you have to take? Or
they're taking a work truck. They're actually gonna take 2 days to get there, 2 days to get back. So it's down in Texas is where we're going.
Oh, you can do that in one stretch. Fun. You can't stay up for 31 hours. What are you talking about?
No, it's not. And it's not really, I think it's only about 16 hours away, 16 to 18.
Okay.
So they break it up in 2 days.
It's exactly 31.
Yeah. And I can't even remember where in Texas. They told me, but I had some stuff going on, and I was like, oh, crap. Okay, well.
Yeah, you're like, I'll get there. I'll know where it is when I'm there.
Well, that's it. I'm not driving this time. If I am, I'm going to be like, follow the GPS, and then I'm there.
That's so cool. You know what I mean? That's cool. You get an opportunity to work, and that's pretty cool, especially if you don't have to drive. But
yeah, I mean, I'll probably take my turn, but for the most part, it's going to be studying on the way. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for that and get a few things wrapped up here. Make sure that my wife's got everything taken care of that I can do for her, so she's okay while I'm gone. And that's pretty much it. I mean, take my truck down to the store yard so it's not hanging out up here. So I try to keep everything down in my storage yard. That way I don't have my house inundated with crap. I mean,
yeah. No, I get that. No, that's pretty cool though. You know what I mean? I've met a lot of people who did the moving jobs. I've been a tradesman of all sorts, and I met tons of people who traveled 2 states away for work, and I've never had to do that. Like I've always lived within 20 minutes of a state line. Like when I lived in New Hampshire, I was on the border of Mass. I was born in the town in Mass that's bordering New Hampshire, and in Vermont, I currently live on the corner of New York, and if I drive an hour, I can be in Mass. So like I'm kind of on the border of 2, with including an hour of distance. And so I've always had more than one state. So to me, it's never like, oh, you're working out of state. It's like, no, you're working fucking the X distance that way. It's not that big of a deal, for what you get. But that's crazy. I've met fucking linemen, who, they traveled 10 states horizontally across the state, east to west or west to east, to go do the climbing school. You know what I mean? And then they fucking come all the way back and they try to get a job at power companies and shit. And it's like, holy fuck, bro, you were dedicated. You went all the way to Arkansas and fucking train online school because they had no open slots in the East Coast. You came back here and they didn't accept you. So you started working at a cable company and you quit the cable company because the power company hired you. And now you're fucking foreman of a power company. Fast forward 12 years. What the fuck, Joseph? And it's like, holy shit, you know what I mean? What were you doing? But it's
furthest I've worked away is Alaska.
Really? What?
So I worked.
You say that like, oh, the furthest I've worked away is a town over, and I ate a hot dog in the way, so it wasn't stressful.
A big
It
deal.
wasn't just Alaska. It was actually the Arctic Ocean. I worked out on the Arctic Ocean for a few years.
You worked on the Arctic Ocean, bro? Dude, that's like you're a single man.
Yeah,
do you know your first pickup line?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I worked on the Arctic Ocean.
I'll be able to pull some. I could probably pull some pictures up and show you, but yeah, I worked out on the ice. Worked out on the ice roads. I mean, being out there, seeing the Aurora Borealis up there. I've seen the polar bears, the oxen, caribou. Seen the migration.
Damn.
I've worked in places that I worked on a 5-acre island for a while too, out in the middle of the Arctic Ocean.
That's insane, dude.
So
you lived an adventure. You know what I mean? Jesus. Fucking.
I really have, and it's going to continue. I mean, the only thing I haven't gotten the opportunity to do, which this job may allow it, is I'm going to start seeing if I can go overseas. I mean, I had an opportunity to go Saudi, had an opportunity to go to Chad and Angola.
Jesus. All of those sound like fucking malaria and a bad headache.
Oh, dude, there's some pretty. I mean, the Saudi one was a 2-year sign up.
Woo!
And after the 2 years, they didn't guarantee you a job to come back to. So you were a subcontractor, but you were subleased out.
And then you were stranded in Saudi Arabia, probably speaking Arabic quite well by now.
No, you'd be in Saudi. Well, what it is, they send you over there for basic oil field. They send you over there for about a month, and you'd have a month off, month on, month off. So
and
that's how they did that.
You'd fly back in between?
Yes.
Oh my god!
I flew to Alaska.
How long is the flight to Saudi? Because it's longer than an hour, and I fucking hate flying.
I want to say it's like 16 or 18 hours.
Oh my god, dude! And I can't masturbate the whole way.
Flying to Alaska.
That's literally the only thing that's holding Ricky to ever flying anywhere in the world. If he can't jerk off within that hour, after that hour, that's it. He's not gonna go. What the hell? That's why he would rather drive first.
If you put me in that small bathroom and expect me to do shit, that door is coming off.
Well, the planes that they flew over to Saudi were the big ones, the big ones, double deckers.
There's no plane that can handle masturbating me.
But the Alaska flight, I'd fly to Seattle or Portland. And then it was a 3.5 hour flight to Anchorage. Then I get to Anchorage and I'd have a layover. Then I get on another plane and it was a 2-hour flight to the slope.
Wow. Dude, I've been on a plane like 8 times. I've hated all of them. My asshole was clenched the whole time. I thought I was going to die every lift and every fall.
Dude, I'm sitting on 280,000 air miles.
I could puke.
And I haven't flown in the last 6 years.
That last 6 years, I recognize and reconciliate with that last 6 years.
No, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the air travel. I enjoyed seeing things. I mean, after I get done with Texas, I believe the next place I'm going is Pennsylvania. So we'll be right out there in Pennsylvania doing some work for about 90 days.
If I get rich, okay, I will own a plane under the understanding of all the physics required to fly the plane, understanding all the physics required to jump out, owning 7 parachutes, all 7 which I packed myself, the first 6 which I've tried and repacked just for good odds, and I'm jumping with them all. And
you know,
fuck the other 6 people that are on that plane.
Okay, when I was working offshore on the platforms,
yep,
they go through helicopter training and they give you a little bit of a brief overview video thing. You get on this helicopter, and we were only flying out to the inlet out of Kenai, Kenai Airport. We got this huge helipad and shit, and you get on there and you fly out to the platform. Well, the wind was coming in real heavy, and the chopper's just kind of all over the place, right? You can hear the pilot up there, and he's doing this and hitting that. He comes up onto the platform and slams that copper down, and you can feel the landing gear stressing underneath it, and the helicopter's sliding off toward the edge of the helipad. And he's telling you to jump out, open the container, the door next to you, and get your luggage out before the helicopter slides off the end of the platform. I'm looking at him like, are you serious? He's like, go, 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 go. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Hurry up.
Jump out.
I wasn't joking.
I grabbed my bag and I threw it on the tarmac and like left it there. And they made me go back and get it because you can't have anything on that landing pad when the helicopter takes off. And he takes off and just pitches hard to the right, and they see the copter disappear. And then he comes back up and flies off and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that again. Can we wait till the wind calms down?
No, that's.
And then the other time we got stuck across the inlet in what they call Beluga, which is over on the other side of Anchorage. And the wind was blowing so hard we got stuck there for 3 days. Well, they finally had to get us out. So they got a 2-engine prop job. And when it came in, it was pointing at a 45-degree angle up into the last 30 feet. and then it started to turn. You see him shut off one engine, throttle the other engine, pitch it straight, and land it.
Jesus.
I mean, those guys in Alaska, those pilots, they may seem reckless, but they know what they're doing. And most of the time, you're in a single engine prop job, and it's like that's how they get around up there, man. You got to trust your life with those guys every time you get in that plane. I mean, we had some wind shear going into Anchorage out of Kenai one day, and the pilot says, "Okay, if you hear like a whop 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 sound, grab the bottom of the seat between your legs and hold on, pull yourself down. We're going to hit an air gap." And he wasn't shitting. It sounded like something was smacking on the side of the plane. I grabbed the seat, and that sucker dropped. It felt like 60 feet. And then he got back in control of it and comes up to Anchorage, and the wind shear is so bad that he pitched the plane on its side, almost inverted it down to the runway. And dude, you could see the grass when he finally leveled that thing out and stuck that landing.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'm going to Chili's and I'm going to drink some beer for the next 6 hours.
I'm alive.
Until my plane shows up.
Fuck this.
And then the same trip, we get on the plane, and it's Alaska Airlines. You know, those guys are great. And we get all loaded up, get heading out the tarmac. They turn around, bring us back because the rear engine's on fire.
What?
We had to deplane, and we deplaned, and they're like, "Oh, it was just a false alarm." So we all got back on the plane again.
You're like, all right.
Flew down to Seattle. We get to Seattle, and they pull us in, and they dumped us off, and I was supposed to take the same plane on into home. And they're like, no, you can't take that plane because that rear engine's still not working right. I was like, I agree. I concur. I'm okay. I'll just get on a different plane.
I will wait.
Yeah.
For the fixed plane to arrive.
I'll take my chances.
Stuck in Seattle for 8 hours waiting for another plane.
Wow.
Jesus. No, dude, Corey, thank you so much for coming on again. And dude, those are some crazy stories. Next time you're on, because I'm sure it'll happen again. You know, amongst the times. We gotta talk about some of that Arctic Circle and some more of that flying shit, because that's definitely insane.
It's it's very interesting.
I got some more helicopter stories of watching them ditch loads because it got out of control. They dropped some shit in the Arctic Ocean. We're standing there watching it, going, "It's not good."
Oh, man.
No, it's not good. That shouldn't be in the ocean.
Not the best looking thing I'm seeing today.
10
no,
million
it's the same copter you got to get on to get home. You know, it's like, you're next on the copter. I'll wait for the next one. I'm good. You know, let's let them get a couple of dry runs in, then I'll get on.
That's so funny, man. Do you have anything you want to plug before the end of the show?
I'll get you guys the information. I do have a small YouTube channel that's got some interesting stuff. I've got like 4 followers.
Yeah,
well,
you should have 7 after this, because I've got 2 hosts I can tell what to do.
Yeah. What?
Well, have you ever heard of an Argo?
Is that like a Dickie do?
With an F, that was the movie with Johnny Depp.
Well, the Argo. Well, there's a movie Argo too. You know, that was about that whole CIA thing. But no, an Argo is an
extraction.
Exactly. An Argo is an 8-wheeled amphibious vehicle.
Oh shit! No, I didn't know that.
Got tracks on it. My dad bought one as his dream. Anyway, I've got a few videos that you can check out, going through some rocks, going through some snow.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty awesome little unit. I've been really wanting to put more on there, but I haven't had time to do it. I've got one more video I got to edit, but yeah, I'll throw that information to you so you can check it out.
Oh yeah, give it to Spence. He'll hook it to me, and it'll be under the show. Anyone who wants to check that out, by all means, please do. Spencer, ooh. Ooh. At least it was at the fucking end. Leon, it looks like he's lagging. We'll give him 5 seconds to jump back before we cut. 5.
No, he's probably just holding that face.
that would be fucking epic. All right.
That's pretty.
That's a good face to freeze on. I'm gonna take a picture and I'll show him later. Hilarious. All right, everyone, have a good night. Thank you for coming on, Corey. Have a good night.
Hey, no problem.
Oh, I can't hear you, but you're back.
No, my internet dropped out.
Ooh, he made it back to say goodbye. All right, we're at the point.
I made it back to say goodbye.
say goodbye. Do you have anything you want to plug?
All right, this is Leon Andrews. Plug in my blog. I got the Still Foxes, STILLFOXES.home.blog. That's my little blog where I have all my fiction stuff that I write about, mostly my campaign for the Dungeons and Dragons thing. And then I would like to plug my wife's Instagram. It's Haley Makes Stuff. It's where she makes her art.
She makes it. It's art.
Yeah.
Check it out. The fuck.
Check it out. HAYLEY makes stuff.
Boom. It'll be beneath the show, right under Leon's links. It'll be the 3 links and then Leon's additional 1.1 links. Wow. All right, everyone have a good night. See you later.
All right, later.
Thanks.